Hello and welcome to the Dark Mount video review for Takara Tomy, Transformers 4 Lost Age, AD16, Autobot Dino. Dino is a repaint of Revenge of the Fallen Sideways in red, and he is designed to mimic a character that we never got a toy for, basically. Although I believe in the movie he was a Ferrari or something like that, so the alt mode is definitely not correct, but it's a toy for a character we never got. I do not own Sideways, and this guy new costs the same amount for me that getting Sideways used cost on eBay, so it was kind of a no-brainer. Plus I like red more than I like dull gray. Call me crazy. It's the underside of his car. There's just a massive robot kibble. You can see the two swords that are specific to this reuse of the mold. They're meant to mimic the arm swords that Dino has in the movie. And it might be Dark of the Moon. I can't remember what movie Dino is in. Might have actually been Dark of the Moon. I don't know. For size comparison, here he is with Dark Side Soundwave. And here he is with Age of Extinction Drift. And he's a little bit bigger than them, so I'm going to wager that he is from the Return of the Fallen line, I think. To transform Dino, you want to start by just grabbing these little two pieces. No, you don't. I lied. You want to start by separating this whole thing from the back and folding it out of your way. And then these side panels you need to disconnect. That. You want to pull the legs down, and you can see this is where the blades plug in. And a little mini port here. So what you want to do is rotate this leg around, and this peg right here will actually clip around the wheel, like that. And then you want to maneuver the leg so that you can match up that peg with that hole. And that little pin right there will allow you to fold that in. And then you end up with that. Let's do that on the other side. And then you have the legs. Now, to unfold these arms, and you can kind of prop these things up. They're on little springs. This part is always tricky for me. To disconnect two sides, and then disconnect these little things here. And these will kind of, they're on ball joints, so you can kind of rotate them out of your way. And once you have these freed up, what you can do is actually press this little front grille, and it will pop this part forward and pop the two wheels in like that. And you can spread the legs. Pass this whole spine part through, and this will clip in right there. Which can be a little tricky. There we go. Then from there, you can just unfold his arms. Position these however you want to get them out of your way. Fold the arms forward, they're on these little swings. And these are on little ball joints. So we can fold his head down. And these things will spring all the way up. We can fold this onto his back. Comes with these two weapons, which can come under here and peg on like this to his arms. And now you have him with his little bladed weapons, which I think they did a very good job on. They look very cool. Yeah, I totally forgot during transformation that you're also supposed to flip these little triangle bits up on the sides of his head, so that just gives him kind of a more like folded collar look. So after you are done with that, there is kind of a tab-ish thing in here that's going to tab into this slot. And you just want to fold this all the way up until it clicks like that. You might think that these two little peg things are going to fit onto here. I thought that the first couple times I transformed this thing, because that actually keeps this at a much more sensible level, but it won't actually peg in with these up. And then you can kind of position these arm things however you want. I think generally they're intended to kind of poke up like this. And there you have Dino, or Mirage I guess, in his super chicken leg dino angry robot mode looking thing. Due to the way the backpack on this guy is set up, however, you do have some options. If you would prefer to have this sit a little lower, you can kind of just angle it there yourself. These pegs or pins are pretty strong, so they will hold it up for the most part, and then you kind of get a lower sitting backpack. If you want to keep it in place a little bit better, you'll have to have these down, and then you can actually get these to peg in there, which I think these are for car mode or something, but they do fit in here and hold this pretty stable. And then you can fold this back up. The only problem with this configuration is that if you try to fold these wings up, they'll disconnect the backpack. And that gives him kind of a more traditional looking robot mode. with a lower sitting backpack. So I'm pretty sure this is generally how I'm going to be displaying this figure, just because I think it looks a little better than having everything sticking up all crazy like, but maybe that'll be his like battle mode or something, who knows. You'll notice I have his feet posed a little differently than a lot of other people. I have them as kind of chicken leggy, which allows him to use the wheel as kind of heel support, and this part ends up just being his toes. I'm fairly certain that this is how it was designed, because that's the only way that the figure is stable at all. And when you have him standing like this, he is, well, he's not rock steady, but he's stable enough. A lot of people try to straighten his legs out and kind of like stand him on these tiny little feet, which honestly that's silly. I'm not gonna do that. I'm pretty sure he's meant to have kind of backwards-esque type chicken legs. For size comparisons, here he is. And here is Dark of the Moon Q, or Wheeljack. Here he is with Dark of the Moon Barricade. And here he is with Age of Extinction Crosshairs. For articulation, his head rotates, but it also, well, it's on a ball joint, but you don't get any like sideways motion, so it can go up and down and it can rotate. You have good articulation in the shoulders, and they also move in and out. You have kind of a Mech Alive thing going on when you bend the elbow, and you have upper arm swivel. No hand articulation. You have waist rotation, ball jointed hips, upper leg swivel, and knee bend. Then you have the foot and or toe articulation. So I think Dino is a pretty excellent figure. I think he looks much better than the original uses of the mold in terms of his color and stuff like that. And I really dig his face sculpt. If I can get it to focus. It's just a good face sculpt. His transformation is a little bit fiddly, but that's kind of why I like the Movieverse figures, to be honest. They're all kind of a little bit more on the time-consuming side, which I kind of appreciate. I like puzzles, so I understand why people have trouble balancing him and stuff, but I'm pretty sure if you don't try to use these as feet and try to kind of have him chicken-legged and use those as toes and use the wheels as heel support, he ends up being, I just put him on a slant on my review space, but if you have him on a flat ground that isn't made of slippery plastic, he usually stands much better with the rubber as his foot and these as kind of like little toes. So it's up to you. That's the ice cream truck, so I gotta run, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Oh yeah, I recommend this figure. Highly.